What a handsome motorcycle. Well, it's Friday the 16th, a very pleasant day, and I took Route 30 all the way east to this pleasant little town of West Point, Virginia. And I'm about to take a look around. Let's see what there is to see. I had lunch at a Hardee's and I talked to an 87-year-old gentleman who was a Delta airline pilot. Interesting guy. He rode in from Georgia, drove in, that is. Sharp as a tack. Well, holy cow, look at this. Chesty Puller, the amazing Marine, Lieutenant General Lewis B. Puller, West Point's own, a Marine's Marine, the most decorated Marine in the history of this country, was born June 26, 1898, and grew up only a few houses away from where we are standing. I didn't know that. Very cool. On this spot, with majestic views of the Matapanai, Pamunkey, and York Rivers, stood the Terminal Hotel. It was a massive 5-story Victorian building with pointed towers on each corner, 200 guest rooms, and hundreds of windows. It was called the Terminal Hotel because it was part of the Richmond and West Point Terminal Railway and Warehouse Company. 1926, the hotel was destroyed by a fire that started in the basement. It is believed that the fire was caused by the explosion of a still, a sad ending to one of the crown jewels of West Point history. Let's check out Beach Park, which doesn't look all that big, to be honest. Well, I've certainly been in larger beaches, that's for sure. I cannot leave this plaque without reading some famous Chesty quotes. All right, they're on our left. They're in front of us. They're behind us. They can't get away this time. Great, now we can shoot at those bastards from every direction. We're surrounded. That simplifies our problem of getting to these people and killing them. Remember, you are the first Marines. Not all the communists in hell can overrun you. Take me to the brig. I want to see the real Marines. All right, you bastards, try and shoot me. To Korean forces. Where do you put the bayonet upon seeing a flamethrower for the first time? You don't hurt him if you don't hit him. Hit hard, run fast. Hit hard, hit fast, hit often. And finally, my favorite, retreat. Hell, we're just advancing in a different direction. Chesty Puller. All right, here's the first. I believe that may be a robot lawn clipper. I have no idea what it would be doing otherwise. Wait a minute here, is somebody showing off for me? Is that thing radio controlled by someone who knows I'm filming it? Weird. A robot lawnmower. This is a very well-tended lawn. Huh. As described, just down the street, here's Chesty Puller's house. Named for his barrel chest and having a bulldog face and a gruff voice, West Point's native son remains the most decorated U.S. Marine in American history, known as the Marine's Marine. Lewis Puller was born in this home you see before you in 1898 and lived in West Point, graduating from West Point High School in 1917. Let's see. I'm not going to read the rest. If you want to read it, you can. You can pause. Chesty was like his mother, a strong woman from whom Puller developed his own character as a strong and determined person. His mother ruled with discipline without physical punishment, something the future Lieutenant General emulated for the rest of his life. There's Puller at West Point Centennial Celebration in 1970. and Puller as fullback, standing second from left on the West Point football team circa 1917-1918. Cool. The Marine's Marine, born here. This is a pleasant little town, West Point. Let's read about it. Colonel John West II, 1633 to 1689, inherited 6,000 acres of this land from his father, John West I. Land grant circa 1650, John West II was taken prisoner during Bacon's Rebellion. He later sat on court-martial for those rebels. He was colonel of militia and burgess for the New Kent County, 1685 to 1686. In the 1659-1660 session of the House of Burgesses, an act was passed to exempt him from taxes for life in consideration of the many important favors and services rendered to the country of Virginia by the noble family of the Wests, predecessors to Mr. John West, their now only survivor. Pretty cool. No taxes for life. I like it. This is the main street in West Point. A very pleasant main street. You can see the water tower over there. Pretty neat. There's the library. Here's a place to have ice cream. And they have some sidewalk chalk. And as you can see, Wes Clark from Rutherford Glen, Virginia visited 916. I'm just going to let you read this on your own. I found it interesting. Next door to what is now the Historical Society. This is Route 30 from Highway 1 to West Point, Virginia. It's also called the King William Road, or the, let me get this right, the Paw Monkey Matapanai Trail. Two Native American tribes who flourished in this area. And I saw a sign for St. John's Church. This was the parish church of St. John's Parish, formed in 1680. It was built in 1734. Earlier churches stood at West Point, and about 1 mile north of this site, Carter Braxton, a revolutionary statesman, was a vestryman, preserved by joint effort. So let's go look at this church. St. John's Church, 1734. Dead ahead. There's a lot of historic churches in Virginia, especially around the part here. And this is another one of them. 1734. Interesting. On the National Register of Historic Places, no surprise there. A Virginia Historic Landmark, no surprise there. That building is obviously a lot newer. And here's a kiosk, tells you all about it. Constructed between 1732 and 1734. In 1877, Captain Robert E. Lee purchased the St. John's property from the Commonwealth of Virginia. Related to those Lees, I suppose. The first family. St. John's Parish. You can read this if you like. Churches often have cemeteries adjacent to the worship building. This one doesn't appear to have one, except for this. Robert Harvey Cook, Company K, 23rd Virginia Cavalry CSA, 1843 to 1911. And, well, I'm guessing this is going to be unreadable. Yeah, it is. I can't make that out. Big church. Let's see if we can get a look inside. Oh, we can. There's the pulpit. Reminds me a lot of the Pohick Church near where I used to live in Springfield, Northern Virginia. Here's another interior shot facing in a different direction. This one was a little surprising. As you can see, I'm shooting through a window, and when I walked up to it, some kid's toy. Interesting. Okay, let's continue on. Just off Route 30 is a sign for the Matapanai Indian Museum. As it stands right now, I am on the Matapanai Indian Reservation. I visited the Paw Monkey Reservation once, back when I turned 50, but I've never been here. I think I'm going to come back here with my wife. But yes, there are Indian reservations in Virginia, and here's another one. Here's another stop on Route 30. The Metapanai Indians. 2 miles east is the Matapanai Indian Reservation, home of descendants of the great chief Powhatan, father of Pocahontas. The reservation is situated on the Matapanai River and is one of the oldest Indian reservations in the United States, existing since 1658. The Matapanai tribe is governed by its chief and council and continues to exercise its laws and traditional customs. Now, I think it's pronounced Matapanai, and the reason why I think that is because the Matapanai is also a river, and the tributaries are called the Ma, the Ta, the Po, and the Nai. Now, it also could be Matapanai. I don't know. Here's another stop on Route 30. At Glubiak Glove, this used to be a gas station, obviously. King William Courthouse, the oldest courthouse in continuous use in the United States. Well, this I've got to see. So let's go take a look. The King William County Courthouse, erected early in the second quarter of the 18th century, is one of the older courthouses still in use in the United States. Well, wait a minute. Is it the oldest or one of the older? This T-shaped building was constructed of brick laid in Flemish bond with an arcade imitating the first Capitol in Williamsburg. One of the best preserved of Virginia's colonial courthouse buildings, it features fine Georgian brickwork. About 1840, the courthouse was enlarged with a unique style and brick wall and was erected to enclose the court green. Its rural historic setting is a rare survival. Well, here's another sign asserting that it's the oldest courthouse in the United States in continuous use, built 1725. I imagine it's that building just beyond this other remnant, the Confederate Memorial. Those are coming down all over the U.S., but King William County still has its. Here's the King William Historical Society, but they're closed. That's okay. I'm going to need to get home anyway. I believe this is the 1725 building. Yes, it is. Oh, look, it has a pleasant arcade. Huh. All right. Can we look inside? Yes, we can. Sort of. In memory of Henry Jenner Jones, born in King William County, 1847, a VMI cadet, killed in the Battle of Newmarket on May 15th, 1864. A VMI cadet sighting. And what's this say? dedicated to the memory of Henry Fox, first presiding justice of this court, 1702. Interesting. Another interior shot. Oh, look at all the pictures. Not a large building. Not a large building at all. Looks like about half of it is oh, here we go. Okay, there's more over here. Ah, boxwood. Smells like history. Smells like Williamsburg or Jamestown or something. I love the smell of Virginia boxwood. What's in here? Ah, the courthouse. Let's get a better shot. Sneaky tourism. History. That's what colonial history smells like to me. Boxwood. And there's this building that I'm sure is not as old. It's the Historical Society. All right, well, let's get back on 30, headed west. I don't know what else there is to see along Route 30. I didn't make note of anything. And what's going on here? An archaeological dig, if I'm not mistaken. Right there, and right there. I wonder what was here. I wonder what they're finding. I wonder what they found.